I'm just getting a lot of private message here. PAUL, all capitals, trying to get my attention. I apologize. So what's going on? Why is this boring? It just is, but it's really powerful stuff. It's like anything in life. All the boring shit, like, is the most important stuff, isn't it? It's like nobody wants to do it, but it is. It is super powerful, right? I'm not saying for 1 second it's not. It's the most important part. And the reason that before I launch into it, the reason that programs don't sell or things don't sell online on the internet is because people don't do this, right? And it is laborious. It's like, here's a headline and here's the, yada, yada, right? But you do have to crack it. It's like, it is the gateway to selling the product. The written word is what sells things. However you dress it up, ultimately the written word is what sells the online program. It's the kind of like ironic thing about internet marketing. We have to write stuff in order for them to get stuff that's digital. It's bizarre. Carrie, you are a wordsmith. It's not boring at all. Michelle, I might bring you on to teach this then, if you want. No, I've done my best. I've done my best for you. I've basically shortcutted the process. I started doing PowerPoints. I was like, nah, fuck it. I'm just going to write this out in templates so you've got it. So I've done you some templates for sales letters, basically, that plug in the blanks. And I'm just going to walk you through the templates tonight. So I'm going to help you understand the psychology. I will go through the anatomy of the sales and why and how you communicate and so on. But in the end, I've got you the templates that you can just insert, drag and drop your program or your pain point or your benefit or whatever it's going to be. I'll talk you through all of those things first, then I'll give you the sales letters templates, and you can do those as you see fit. So it's module 3. Tell me where we're all at. Give me an update. Type into the chat. Let me know how you're feeling, what you're up to, what progress you're making. Any questions you want me to answer while we're on this together. Happy to do that before we dive into module 3. I've got nothing to get home for tonight. Natalie is out. The kids are at grandmother's, except for a nice, peaceful, calm evening in with myself, which I haven't had for about, 3 years. I've got nothing to get in for tonight. So let's speed this up, please. What can I do to help? Tell us what's going on. Infusionsoft setup, recording course on September the 4th. Good. Had to make another free report after you made me niche back up. Yeah, you may have went a little too nichey. Ready to set up Infusionsoft, says Kimberly. Barry's doing a great job, and Cam out there for you setting these things up. I'm getting ready to launch my program live, says Carrie, in a month. They will be on Zoom. Going to record it so I can launch it in January as an evergreen opt-in program. Good. Come on, keep talking to me. Phase 1 and 2, phase courses recorded, getting phase 1 edited and polished. Good. So this is going to be perfect for, some of you are already got the program, right? And candidly, the program will not be the reason that you make money online. It just won't be. The thing that will determine whether or not you make money will come down to 2 things. It's this simple: the list and the relationship with that list, and the ability to copyright. That's it. The reason that my business, when you watch all these sales pages come out and blah, 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 right, happen, the reason that we can grow so fast is because I write those pages myself in a heartbeat. And I've developed this skill over a 6 or 7 year period. The typical sales page that you see come out from my emails when you land and you see everything, if that went to a copywriter, a professional copywriter, it would take him or her 2 to 3 weeks to do every time. And I get them done in about 2 days. So the speed at which we can go, because I can write copy, is actually the real leverage point, differentiator of this business, because we can put together an idea on a Monday and I can have the thing written on a Wednesday. Most businesses would have to go find a copywriter, consult with them, and it would take 3 or 4 weeks. So what I'm saying is, this is the ultimate skill. And if you get it and you can write your own copy, to give you an example of a copywriter fees, someone like Dan Kennedy would charge you $100,000 to write a sales page. No exaggeration. And he'd want 1 to 2% of the royalty. So that means if you made 100 grand, he would want 2 grand of every 100 you make, plus your 100 grand. An average basic copywriter will charge you about $3,000 to $5,000 for a sales page. Seriously, that's being conservative, and that's an average copywriter. It's $3,000 to $5,000 to write a page. So if you have a look at any of my sales pages, the one that you all registered, that would have cost me $3,000 to $5,000 for a basic copywriter who wouldn't have done it as well as I could do it, because obviously I understand my audience. So what I'm saying to you is, this is the skill, right? This is the skill to get that ultimately will differentiate you between doing all right and selling 3 to 5 programs and ultimately being able to sell multiple programs. And what I'll teach you today is actually copywriting, and starting to develop your sales page is actually the beginning of formulating what actually goes into the program. So you always write the sales page first. The sales page is where all of your ideas come from for the program, right? And I'll teach you a systematic way of doing it today. And you'll start to write things about the problem if you do the program first is this, right? This is why I'm resisting at every point teaching you how to actually create a program, is this. The minute you've wrote the program, you'll start to sell the program. Write that down. The minute that you do the program, you start to sell the program. And what that means is this. You'll start selling 6 back pain exercises. You'll start selling 3 weight loss strategies. I don't want 6 back pain exercises, and I don't want 3 weight loss strategies. I want to lose 30 pounds in a month. See the difference? The minute that you create the program, you'll start to sell the features, is the point. You'll start to sell 6 DVDs and 6 CDs, and you get access to a membership site that tells you how to do these great back pain exercises. Nobody's buying that. The secret to the sales page is you actually very rarely talk about the program. You talk about the benefits, and something called the emotional benefit is what I'll teach you today. It's the emotional benefit that ultimately you've got to sell. And if you write the sales page first, that's where you'll make your money. The actual program, it'll be a doddle. You can do it however you want, right? We will touch on it next week, but I'm trying to get you into a position of being able to sell the thing before you've even created it. And some of you will be able to, and we'll talk through this next week. You'll be able to do these things live on the fly, having not created the program until like 15 minutes before you're due to actually do it. And 10 people are on it with you, or in my case, 37 people are on it with you, and the whole thing's made up on the fly. But it was sold and created conceptually before the actual thing was put together. That's how you do online programs. And it stops you from selling the online program and instead focusing in on the emotional benefit. That's what people want. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to get you into that way of thinking about your benefit that the program provides. And in doing so, we can create the package, if you like, the actual product next week. And the sales page will be more in tune with the program rather than the program being in tune with the sales page. If the program is in tune with the sales page, it's going to be boring, transactional, will not sell type copy. But if we can get the sales page in tune with the program so that when you've written it, you start to do your exercises and your little things or whatever it is you're going to give them, it'll match up to what you've sold and it'll be much more congruent. So it's got to come fast. So that's what we'll talk through. I changed my ideas. I was asked to do a last minute webinar at 100 people. The feedback was amazing. Yeah. My sister's told me that I'm a terrible writer and that she will charge me in the future to look over my pages. Here's another thing to understand. There's such a thing as a very good writer who can't write to sell. So I am a terrible grammatic English language type writer, right? You would pull me apart for writing in terms of grammatically correct. But very few people would be able to match me for writing in a way that sells. So I'm very good at persuasive, emotional, driven type language, but I may not be all that great at, for example, being a newspaper journalist, right? So you'd have a newspaper journalist or a blogger or somebody who can write, but there'll be no change in the person as a result of their writing. It's fact-based, logic-based. This is emotional, persuasive-based. Does that make sense? So this is what I'm saying, Dorothy. Resist at all cost asking anybody who is a good writer to look at your writing. Does that make sense? Because they don't understand what you're doing. If somebody who's a good English language grammatical type journalist teacher type writer looks at what we're about to do, they'll pull it apart. But we're not going to write about facts and logic. We're going to write about emotions. So that's the preface. That's the preface for today's class. Anybody got any questions that want me to answer for the last, to just recap the last couple of weeks for you before we dig into the slides? Everybody enjoying it? Everybody having a good time learning? I'm trying to create it. I know you're like, when's he just going to teach me to put like 6 exercises in a bloody membership site and like let me sell the thing, right? I know you know how to do that. And that's not going to be the thing that will make the difference for you. As much as you think it is, it's like, I need to get my program better. It's not that. I'm trying to piece together all of the links, if you like, in the sales chain. You miss any of these parts out, and that's the reason you'll be left with a program. So, all right, I'm going to get going then if nobody wants to come on. I'm going to get my slides that I've been preparing for the last 3 months up and ready to share with the world. Right, player from start. Everybody see me? Carrie and Michelle, you are my eyes and ears. And Brett, I can see you in my eyeline, Brett. Online program. So here we go. Module 3. Today is about relationship building and copywriting, which really the two put together, the keys to the kingdom as I see it. So review of module 1, let's go back before we go forward. Lead generation, magnet is ultimately what you need. Some kind of lead capture device, which is lead pages and a squeeze page, ultimately to start collecting leads and opt-ins. If we don't do that, we don't have a business. A thank you page to start selling immediately to the hyper buyers, and a follow-up sequence of emails and SMS texts. Recap of module 2. A CRM which handles marketing, e-commerce, and can organize your list all in one. We need at least 2 merchant accounts and ideally develop a relationship that is personal with one of them. Getting going with lead generation. Hopefully you've already done that and you're starting to get people to go through your system. We want them just flowing through 2, 3 leads a day, 5 a day, 10 a day, whatever it will be. Start with forums and focus groups and then add on more strategies each week and each month. Eventually, ideally, you might want to get to the point of paying for it with something like Facebook. The more leads that you have, the faster your online program or business will grow. So that takes us to step 6, which is where we are today. Let me just put my chat so I can see if there's any questions pop up. There we go. There we go. All right. So building relationships. This needs to happen before you create or sell the course. I told you last week about the story of a guy, Stephen. He's over in Denver actually, and he runs a mixed martial arts online company for teaching guys who run the gyms how to basically grow a gym. And took him 8 months before he sold his first course. But 8 months of sending emails and building a relationship with his list, and nearly a $10 million revenue annual business. 8 months before he sold his first course online. And that's the importance, imperative, that you have a relationship with that audience before you create or sell the course. The mistake is to want to make the course. So here we go. This is the perennial, perpetual state that people find themselves in. You want to make the course, you rush to make the course, then you try to sell it, and nobody buys it. Then you think it's because of the course. My course isn't very good. So you change the course again and again and again and again. But it didn't sell simply because you didn't have a relationship with the list. Here's my strategic objective, and Brett can attest to this. Make the relationship so good that what they're buying becomes irrelevant. Make the relationship that they've got with you. And what that means is, because it's you, they want to buy from you. The actual thing that they're buying is secondary, right? The actual type of class or program or whatever it is, and the thing that it does and the benefit that it provides is secondary. But the fact that they're able to buy it from you is the primary reason that they wanted to buy it. In the Facebook group last week, forgive me, I forget the chap's name, somebody mentioned that somebody in his gym had said that you'll never be able to sell this type of thing because people can get it for free on the internet. Now, again, ask somebody who doesn't understand the process of selling, and that's usually the type of response that you'll get. We are not in the business of creating online programs. We're about to get in to the Carry business, to the Brett business, to the Bearminator business. We're getting into the Kim business. We're getting into the You Inc. business. And as such, the Emma business, the Nikki business, whoever, right? As such, what we want is the relationship to be that good with the people on your email list, following you on social, listening to your podcast, reading your books, that they cannot wait for Carrie to bring out the next course. They cannot wait for Brett to bring out the next episode or edition of the thing that is just something that's going to enhance their life. That's what successful selling online is about. If you're selling products, it's tough. You might make, and you will, by the way, you'll make some money just by selling products. But I always try to help you see that it's at a much higher level if we can get it to be about you, position you as the expert, you as the authority, you're the one with the relationship. They'll ultimately, in the end, you'll have customers for life. If you remember the John Lennon, I want a swimming pool, I'm going to go and write one. I've got a series of fans all over the world who will just buy any record that I put out. Essentially, that was what John Lennon was saying. And that's essentially the business that you're in. So ways to do it look obvious: social media, podcast, books, and so on, right? But really, deep down, it's still email at this point where the real relationship can be built, that kind of storytelling, intimate kind of relationship. I'd say all of them are fab. It's been my experience, and anybody that I watch doing anything online with online programs, barring some exceptions to the rule. By the way, there's some exceptions to the rule. Grant Cardone's and so on, who have done, Gary Vee, who've done social media at scale, like beyond belief. But they are, I promise you, exceptions to the rule. They are also, when you watch these guys, when you see their social media, it's been fueled by thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, because both of them have a secondary reason to do it. One of them parades as though he doesn't make any money from his social media, but he does, because when he walks into a business and asks if you want to hire his 25 grand a month agency, it's in his favor to have 5 million followers on Facebook. So he pays a significant sum of money for his videos and his ads and various things to be watched. He can spend millions on social media to grow his following, because the money is made when he walks into BMW or Mercedes and says, hey, I've got 10 million followers. Do you want 10 million followers? He doesn't tell them that he spent 3 million on getting 10 million followers. So be very careful the model that you're watching. You will definitely build and enhance a relationship on social media, but to do it at scale may involve a significant sum of cash, and it's definitely the exception, not the rule. Podcast is a wonderful media for building a relationship. If you notice with my podcast, it's not necessarily interview based, and that was for a reason, because I wanted people buying into my philosophies, my story, my voice. You know, again, I'll let you in on little secrets. You listen to my podcast, the first 5 or 10 minutes is about me, the kids, Natalie, where we've been, how Britain is, how America is, how the latest vacation was, what's going on in our lives. I'm building a story. It's a true story. I'm just communicating it. That's all I'm doing. And it's every other podcast starts with a, hey, let's, begin this episode with a commercial or whatever. Say, hey, let me tell you what Natalie's been up to. Let me tell you what Harry's been up to. Let me tell you how the first day of school went, and so on and so forth. So I'm building a relationship through the podcast, right? So I'm in bed with you on a night with the podcast, or I'm in your car. The kids probably swear like me if they're listening to the podcast, right? I've been to bed with you with my books. I've been on the toilet with you with my books. But the books reinforce my beliefs, my philosophies, my principles. Again, I'm building a relationship with you through the media of a book. But really where my business started was with a daily email. If you rewind 5.5 years ago to when I started sending my first emails, That's all I had. I had no podcast, I had no book, and I had no social media. Amy brought social media to my life and podcasts and YouTube, and I'm forever grateful for her for doing it. I was email guy for about 18 months. It was 5 days a week, and it was to one thing: book a strategy call with me and find out what you need. But I built a relationship, and I was able to communicate my story through the email, through the media of email. And by the way, it was 5 years ago. Open rates were shit back then, and they're crap now, right? They're 20%. They're still good enough. That's like 20 out of 100 open the email on that given day. If you send 5 a week, there's probably 50 or 60 will actually open the email in a given week. So don't think that email is dead. It really, really isn't. And if you're in a niche, it'll be higher. We get about a 20, 22% open rate. If I was on a general business list, it would probably be down to 12%. You guys will get 20 to 25% with this type of stuff. So it's still very, very worthwhile you sending emails. And many of you experienced through COVID the real power of email, of how the relationship was enhanced through the power of email. So here's some tips on email marketing. I'm not going to dig into social media and podcasts and all that type of stuff because I'd love you just to start with email. It's very simple. It's definitely the easiest and the fastest to get this business going. Then we can layer on a podcast, we can layer on books and so on as we build. Obvious, make it personal. Look, you're selling to people. You're selling you and your story, your beliefs, your challenges, your struggles. You've got to come across in email as though somebody can know who you are. Whether they like you or they don't, it's got to come that I've got to know who Paul is and what he stands for. You don't have to go into politics or religion or anything like that. If you want to, you can, but you don't have to go that far. It's just you, just who you are, what your beliefs are, what you stand for, what the product and the thing that you're offering people generally in the transformation. Talk about your beliefs and why other people are not able to provide it and why you think you're superior. You've got to be able to do that through emails. Absolutely. Tell them about your life. Tell them about your backstory. Tell them about challenges, struggles. They've got to know that you're a human being like them. We've all got crap and skeletons and shit in our closet and issues with parents and brothers and sisters and whatever else. Right? That's life. Like that's who we are. The thing that I realized when people started coming to me in the original meetups that I was doing, and even then more recently in seminars, when people come up and said, "Hey, how's Harry?" Or "He's a gift for Tobias," or "He's a football shirt for Harry," or "He's a gift for Grace," and all, "Give this to Natalie." I was like, what? How the fuck do people in like Denver or wherever know Natalie and Harry and Tobias? It's like, well, I talk about them in the books and I talk about them on podcasts and I mention them in my emails and stories. And 2 weeks ago, the email was all about how the trips to Spain were cancelled and we ended up in wherever and we had a great time. It's like, I'm just sharing a story that people can hopefully relate to. Not everybody, but the ones that you need to. Keep them plain text. Move away from any newsletter style. We don't need big fancy images and corporate logos and all that type of thing. Just keep it, dear Bill, plain text, and really about 500 or 600 words is what you're shooting for with an email. Anything more, it gets a little bloggy. And by the way, it takes time. When you start writing emails, what you might find is that you're probably writing 800, 900, 1,000 word emails because you can't cut it short. What's the phrase that they say? I'm sorry, here's the phrase. I'm sorry I didn't have the time to write you a short letter. I'll say that again. I'm sorry I didn't have time to write you a short letter. And what it means is that actually it's easier to write a longer letter. It's harder and takes more time and thought to write a short letter. So as you do your writing, if you look at my original sort of accelerator pages, you'll be able to see this in my history, right? My emails now are usually 400, 350, 400. And when I first started, they were probably 700, 800. And then I found a sweet spot for a year or two around about 500 or 600. Now I can probably get my message across in 450, 400. If you look at the original pages I wrote, Accelerator Business Growth School, they are epic. They are huge. Now look at my pages, they're probably half the size. And it's ultimately because I've evolved as a writer and I can get my message across in less words. And again, that's like walking. It just takes time to evolve that. So just what you're looking out for as you start to write, you'll probably brain dump to start with. That's okay. Just keep doing it. And the more that you do it, you will get better and you'll get more concise. Good or bad to hyperlink back to the website? Yeah, in emails always. Always, particularly if you've got remarketing set up. So how often to email? Daily? You could do. You absolutely could. And I would say this, if you're going to set off to do daily emails, do daily email. Because whatever the consistency is that they get used to, that's what you have to be able to do. It's like the news is on at 10 o'clock every night for a reason, because there's something else to share. Well, there isn't these days, but you get the point. At 10 o'clock, the news comes on every night. So make sure that your email is consistent. If it's Wednesday at 12, make it Wednesday at 12. If it's 3 times a week, make sure it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, like non-negotiable. So I would say at least 2 or 3 times a week, because it's coming from you. So here's the difference, right? You might get some people go, well, people don't want to get emails and blah, 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 right? I don't want to get 3 emails a week off Starbucks. I don't want 3 emails a week off Starbucks, right? Or some corporate faceless business that I may have given my email address to at some point. But I don't mind getting 3 emails a week of somebody that I'm following actively, who I can understand and learn about their life and get something from, and is willing to share and be open with me. That's a very different response on email. And it's why when people say email is dead, that's not strictly true, right? It's been abused by a lot of corporateness. But when it comes to a relationship with what we feel like is an individual that we're getting to know or getting closer to, which is what this game is, you can definitely send multiple emails and more often than not be received quite well. I prefer what's called soft selling. So if you read my emails, I'll dig out a batch for you and you can find yourself in them. I'll put them in the membership site. I prefer soft selling, and it has some kind of teaching built in. So I often teach the why, or I explain a problem in a way that they can relate to. That's my ultimate goal when I send an email. My ultimate goal is to get them to relate to whatever it is I'm teaching. But what I'll do at the end is I'll segue into a soft call to action, a CTA, and basically say, hey, if you can resonate with this thing and you want to know a bit more about this thing, there's more on this page here. Click below. And that's it. There's not much more to it. It isn't a heavy, buy. It's usually I'm answering a question or telling a story or sharing something that I've learned. And then right at the end, it just says, and if you want more on this thing, click the link. So it could start with explaining, for example, about why people struggle to lose weight. Hey, a lady asked me once why, despite having 3 diets, has she not been able to lose the 12 pounds that she wanted to? And you tell very quickly the 2 or 3 reasons that might happen. And anyway, if you want to know more about this and how you might be able to lose weight using my strategies, click the link below. That's it. And hey, a patient recently asked me, or a person recently asked me, what's the difference between yoga and Pilates? And I explained the difference and why the benefits of Pilates outweigh yoga if you've got this problem or this problem. And then at the bottom, I would just say, hey, and if you want to know more about Pilates, click this link below. Boom, off we go. I'm into the sales page. And that allows me to be able to send emails 3 to 5 times a week sometimes, because it isn't just buy this program, $100 off, right? When you see that's the person that doesn't know how to build a relationship. That's the person who wants to sell, which is cool. You need to do that sometimes. But 8 out of 10 of your emails have got to be what I would call soft teaching, soft selling. A CTA to fill out, correct, Justine? Yeah, fill out an inquiry form or request a discovery session. Correct. Yep, absolutely. You could go straight to the product. Absolutely. You could go to another sales funnel. Yep. It's just to get the next action, get them from reading an email onto a page, whether it's to give you more information or to buy a product. Yes, and send them to their sales page. So again, you could send them to fill out an application form, make an inquiry, click this link to go to a blog. The blog then has an application on it, or click this video and the video has a link below. It's basically a call to action to do something next. So here's the most effective types of emails. Educational, undoubtedly the best one. So you're giving away some kind of information, right? You'll talk about why back pain or knee pain happens, why some exercises work and why others don't, right? You're educating me. Here's why these exercises on YouTube are not working for you. I'm enlightening you. Why does back pain happen to people age 60 plus or of a certain age or a certain type? Why do knee pain keep happening to cyclists? Why do runners keep getting runner's knee? Educate me. Why do people struggle to lose weight? Despite I've tried really hard to lose weight for 3 years. That's their language. I've tried really hard to lose weight. No matter what I do, I can't seem to lose weight. So you'd start your email with, a lady asked me, why, despite trying really, really hard, haven't I been able to lose weight? And then you'd start to tell stories about why that's so. I mean, you wouldn't just say it's because you don't put the fork down. You'd have to say a little bit more educational than that, perhaps. Your aim is to resonate with how they're feeling at the time. There's the magic. There's the strategic point. You've got to resonate with how they're feeling at the time, right? Which is when you get that response that says, is he writing this email to me? Does he know me? Does he know what I'm thinking right now? You've got to resonate with how they're feeling at the time. Easily my favorite type of email. It'll show up in your inbox 9 out of 10 times, and it allows you to email a lot without getting complaints. How do you keep coming up with relevant emails? I'm just taking content from what you tell me. That's it. There's nothing to it. There's absolutely never. I could write 27 emails a day, and I'd never run out because I'm listening to you. You're asking me questions. You're dropping in comments. There's stuff in the chat here. So an email now, right? Let me tell you. Here's an example, right? You ready? So I want to sell this course again tomorrow. Hey, so last night I held the most incredible class. And one of the questions I got from a lady called Justine was this. What is a call to action, Paul? How exactly do you do a call to action? Because I'm confused by what I do after I've sent a patient or a customer or a potential client or a prospect an email. What's the next steps after I've sent the email? Let me explain what a call to action is. You write the email and you resonate with their pains and their frustrations. And then right at the end, you ask them to take the next step. Now that could be a discovery call. It could be to a sales page. It could be to a YouTube video. Anyway, if you want more information on how to do a call to action in your email, check out this page below. It's my latest program that includes how to send emails and how to build relationships. If you want to build relationships through emails, click this link below. Brett, I've just created an email of Justine's question in a chat. I might do that tomorrow, just to show you. But this is it. You've got ears, right? And you've got eyes, and we're just watching and listening to what people are asking you. And all you're doing is answering questions. That's all life is. If you can answer questions for people and you can help them and you can shed some light on things, they gravitate to you. That's it. You could share social videos. So again, a great strategy is to take your best and most engaged videos from social media. This is that wheel of engagement I've taught a few times. You take your best podcast or your best social media video or your best watched exercise on YouTube, and you embed that into the email. So I'm saying, hey, here's some great content. Let me entertain you. Really, and again, this is a slightly different topic, but it's relevant. People want to be entertained, right? It's more infotainment, really, that the game is that you're in. And you've got to kind of factor all of that in, that you can't just be like a boring teacher. It's like there has to be a little bit of entertainment built into this thing. So you could use your social media videos and things that have gone viral to send out on email to enhance the relationship that way. Personal email. Share stories of your life. Hey, a few weeks ago, this crazy thing happened on vacation with the kids. This thing happened. Flights got cancelled. We had to do this. Anyway, the lesson I learned was be adaptable. In business, there's probably no greater skill. That was literally my email a few weeks back. How do you turn a situation in your life where 4 flights get cancelled in 48 hours into an email that sells your bloody Google ads 400 words later? Ultimately, what there was in that story in life was to be adaptable. that we don't know what's around the corner. Life isn't certain right now. And it's the greatest skill that a business owner needs, is to be adaptable. So I just took a life story and turned it in, segued it into a business lesson. And it could be very simple. Hey, I was out for a walk recently and hurt my leg, or I was out with my mother or father and, they hurt their leg and, here's why, and this is what happened. And anyway, the moral of the story is boom. And that's the type of segue. Anyway, the lesson here is, the moral of the story is, here's what I wanted you to take from this. Here's the big action point. So you tell your little story and then you segue it into something that is relevant to the thing that you're selling. Got it? Share the stories. Don't be frightened to share stories, families, hobbies. Vital if you've got competitors or free versions of what you offer. I'll say it again. If you're not prepared to do it, don't even start to try and sell online programs unless you're willing. If you've got big competitive space, people can buy what you do for cheap. They can go on little internet sites or get this stuff on YouTube or whatever. If you've got competitors in your space, you've got to make it about you, and they've got to have an affinity to you. The Q&A email, people send in their questions. Quite simple. Happens all the time. The bigger your email list, the more questions you get about the emails you've sent, which gives you tomorrow's content. People will send in their questions. They'll constantly ask you all day, every day in the clinic, in and around your office, on actual classes and courses. They'll be asking you questions. You take those questions and you just answer them in an email. The answer to the question should create just enough curiosity to get them to click on the link to look at your program. You see me do it all the time. Just received this question. I did one today. Just received a question from Derek in Melbourne, in Florida, about my Google ads or geeks or whatever, right? I mean, did he actually ask me that question? We'll never know. But it made a good email. I mean, there might be a Derek T in Melbourne, Florida. Who knows? You'll know if I've made it up because I always spell the bloody town wrong. That's my usual mistake. I'm like, fuck, I didn't even spell that right. They'll definitely pick up on that. They'll definitely pick up if I've spelled Melbourne with an A instead of an E or something. So be creative. And you can have this from me. I'm giving you permission. If they don't ask you the question, doesn't mean that they didn't want to. There's some poetic license. If they don't ask you the question, it doesn't mean that they shouldn't have asked you the question. And you are well within your rights to answer the question that they should have asked. And then put name removed for privacy. I've done all that where you put name removed for privacy. It actually comes across more bloody legit than if you put a false name. Coach Kelly, come on, humor me, play along. The testimonial email. Occasionally they do say nice things about you. They do say, what a wonderful email. I mean, most of the time they just go, you fucking jack. Occasionally they do send nice things and say nice things about the emails. Got a lot of nice ones actually through COVID. I sent a lot of strong, powerful ones through COVID. Just about confidence and self-belief and being true to yourself and so on through the situation. And really did resonate with a lot of people. I got probably the most number of responses, positive, shall we say, through that period of time. You can expand upon the testimonial, telling the story of the person and how they became successful using the product or the program. So somebody could leave a review and say very little but good things about you. You could take the exact words from that person and say, hey, this review recently was left. Let me, names have been changed to protect the innocent type thing. But let me tell you the real backstory of this particular story. And in it you go. And the person who's reading your email finds themselves in it. The sales email. Believe it or not, I don't send many sales emails. I really don't. If you track back at the thousands of emails I've ever sent, very few look like this. A sales email is a 2 to 3 line email that just basically says, buy this thing now. Like, that's it. It just says, this exists, buy it. And it works, but you just can't do it every single time. It's often what you would send at the very start of a launch of a product. It's just, this exists, click the link, and the hyper buyers take it. And then you've got to get more persuasive with your stories, with your testimonials, with your education, with your benefits, and so on, as time goes on as you launch your product. Let me ask you this. I want to just do something. We were talking in the office, and Barry's speaking to many of you. When this is over, I'm just going to segue back into something in a minute. I'm going to show you something. What do you want to do after this? How many of you want to do more with me and the team after this is over? Obviously, we've got one more session left next week. Just type into the chat, right? We haven't finalized anything. We have absolutely no structure or thoughts of what we're going to do. But if we can get some version of an interest and we can see it, we'll put something together. And I wanted to put that out to see how many of you would be interested in working with me. I'll get Amy involved. I'll get Cam involved. I'll get Becca involved in something that we might do over 2 or 3 months after this is over. Barry, just keep an eye on the names in that chat for me. Keep going, type into the chat. Send an email to Barry. Go to this, paulgoff.com/mini-mastermind. Barry, put that into the chat for me. It's just literally a name and an email address thing. Put your name and an email if you're interested. Barry will have a conversation with you just to find out about you, the program, what you want, and then by next week we'll put something together that says what we might do over a 2 or 3 month period, where we might do a call every week or some version of something to get it going with you. So fill it out. Brill. Fill that out. So I'm going to show you why I did that in just a moment. I needed to do that right there because I'm going to prove something to you in just a moment. Always watch what I do to learn from more than anything. So things to think about as you design your program. We're going to move into that concept of designing the program right now. Create the packages, okay? As you think about a program, offer a basic and a deluxe. Now, the basic could be something like $297 and the deluxe could be $499. As you've all just seen and witnessed with your own eyes, there will always be at least 20% of people who want more. Always and forever. That question that I've just asked you might have seemed a little abrupt in the middle of a teaching presentation, but I wanted to do it so that you could all see when I asked you who wants more, significantly more than 20% of people said me. Please believe me when I tell you, always and forever, it is the unwritten rule that you cannot defy ever in life, that in business, in life, at any point, 20% of people want more than what you're currently offering. Please create a basic and a deluxe version of whatever you're about to sell. We need a $500 version and a $1,000 version. $500 version, $1,000 version. 20% of people will take this next part. They will take the deluxe. Time limited offers. We nearly always give a time limit that somebody can order for the special price or package. So this is how you might position it. If you order this program by this date, I can guarantee that you will get the cheapest price. Or if you order this program by this date, next Friday at 5 o'clock, I can absolutely guarantee that you will get the best bonuses and the best price, because who knows what will happen next week. Time limited offers work. I found this very interesting. So in the UK right now, there is a deal, right? As the people in Britain very well know. If you've been anywhere near a restaurant on a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday since the 1st of October or 1st of August, it's like hell on earth, because ultimately the government are given 50% of the meal paid for, right? So the government, you can go into any restaurant in Britain and 50% of your meal is free, paid for by Boris Johnson or the taxpayer, right? And there is billions that has been spent by all accounts. Everybody, there's people like that, they're running stories on it that people have been out 3 times a day, 3 days a week since the 1st of August, right? Here's what I found really interesting. Businesses have lobbied the government to keep it open-ended. Businesses asked the government not to put a deadline on it, right? Because it ends on the 31st of August. The government minister, for the first time, I thought, yeah, like you have got a brain, right? The government minister who came out with the idea said, if we don't put a timestamp on it, people won't go. If we don't put a definitive end on the deal, people will not go, because they'll think they can always get it. And if they think they can always get it, they never actually get it. What's the phrase? What gets done anytime gets done no time. Here's the classic conversation between me and Natalie. Have you booked those flights yet? No, not yet. I'll do it next week. I'll do it tonight. All right, kid, do it tonight. Obviously, it doesn't get done. A week later, have we booked the flights yet? No, I'll do it tonight. I'll do it tonight. Promise I'll do it tonight. Another week later. Did we ever get round to booking them flights? No, I'll do it tonight. I promise you I'll do it tonight. It's just because I looked last week and the flights were still quite cheap. So I think we should book the flights. Yeah, let's do it tonight when the kids go to bed. Another week goes by. Did we book? No, we still didn't. Fucking 6 weeks goes by after talking about booking these flights and we still haven't booked the flights. By the time we actually go to book the flights, you know what happens? They're twice the price, right? Now we're all pissed because we could have paid half the price if we'd have just booked it 6 weeks ago. But the problem, what can get done anytime usually gets done no time. It's a story of people's lives. It's why marketing works. So whenever you see any of this time-limited offer shit, you might not think that it's whatever. It's the only way that people make decisions, period. It is the only way. Absolutely do I, Jason. Just ask a few people on here if I do. This cost went up every week by about $75. And all I said all the time, the price has gone up. This will be the lowest you'll be able to get it for at this point. It will go up next week. I don't often say how much it goes up, but it goes up. There was about 4 different price points for this program. You have to, because if not, you condition people that you won't do it. Lisa does the order forms. Yeah. So look, I'm teaching you a basic fundamental philosophy. Take this out at your peril. It's got to be time limited offers. The government minister himself, I can't imagine has a single brain cell when it comes to marketing and sales, at least understands. I mean, it's the business minister. You'd like to think you'd have a little bit of marketing and sales now, but come on. If we don't put a time, date, and stamp on it, people won't go. You've got to have limited time offers. Brett waits till the end. Brett always waits till the end. Brett thinks he can resist, but I know better than that. I know Brett's resistance can be overcome with one more email. Brett is adapting. Yeah, I'll find you, Brett. I'm hearing that you're getting remarketing in Utah in 2022, so I'll be all over your Facebook feed in 2022. Remarketing coming to Utah soon. Continuity. After somebody buys your main program, you ask them to join a continuity program where you are going to charge them a set amount each month to give them some version of the resource or access to you. Could be a newsletter, could be DVD, could be live calls, could be classes, and so on. So you might charge $4.95 on the initial program sale, then $50 per month after that. Here's the best lesson I'll learn you on continuity. It's much easier to sell continuity after they've bought and spent money with you at the front. Selling continuity from cold is very difficult. You're actually better off getting them. It sounds counterintuitive, but I promise you, this is the way it works. You're better off getting them to spend a chunk of money to get something and then asking them for a smaller amount after, than just asking them for a smaller amount and hoping that they'll keep going. The reason is that if they invest the $500 and they get committed to you and understand you and your things and what you're about, they're more likely to do and follow through when you give them the $50. If you just ask them to join a little program, they don't understand you, they don't get you, they don't know why they've done it, and they'll drop out. So you want a chunk of a program up front that's a sizable commitment for that reason, that you want their commitment. If you don't get their commitment, you won't get their money. 100 people give you $50 a month, it soon mounts up. And again, that goes back to why you need that e-commerce function. So you can set up monthly subscriptions, and you can do the 30 to 60 day free trial of the continuity. I built Cash Club to about 250 members in 12 months with what I've just explained to you. Buy a product, 30 to 60 day free trial, engaged, committed, do the thing, get to understand me, get to understand the community, the other people in the group, and so on. Don't be frightened of giving away 30 to 60 day free trial of something and then putting, and do you know who's doing it? There's a second one, but Amazon right now are doing it. Amazon are doing on the books, what's it called? Audible, 60 day free trial. The advert at the end here in Britain, I haven't had it in the US yet, but in the UK, the ad says right at the end, after 30 days, you will automatically be upgraded to £14.99 a month or whatever it is. And the other one that's doing it is an accounting company, Sage. Sage are doing it, a 60-day free trial, and the advert at the end says, after that, you'll automatically be upgraded to XYZ. I think Amazon Prime do it as well, do they? 60-day free trial and automatically upgrades. Right, so everyone's doing this now. The big boys are in on it for a reason. Give them a trial, get them hooked, get them engaged, get them plugged in, and then go from there. There you go, Peloton app. Yeah, that's how Peloton app grew. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. Chris Garcia says, do you have the monthly continuity programs public on your website? Yeah, I mean, Chris is my answer, right? It's on one of my websites, but nobody ever buys it from the website because they're just not looking for it, which adds weight to the argument that you offer it after the initial program. So the sales page exists, but you'll never find it unless you're going through a certain pathway with us. Does that make sense, Chris? It's very difficult to sell continuity unless they've engaged with you beforehand. Yeah, the magic of bonuses. So products and programs need to include bonuses that have real value. I believe there's different thoughts on this, but I believe the best bonuses are the ones that are congruent with the actual program they're going to be buying. So selling something that supports the sale, right? Selling something that's like it's part of. So it's, hey, a year's membership to a Pilates class, and get this free Pilates mat, these clothes, this shoes, or whatever, right? Like something that goes alongside of the thing. Weight loss subscription, pills, whatever. $6 on it. Jeans that are 2 sizes too small as an incentive, and so on, right? Like it's something that is congruent and fits in with the thing that they're going to buy. Guarantees. Should you have one? In the early days, yes. And especially if the product is $1,000 or more. So what I mean by that is, in the end, when people start buying from you because it's you, the guarantee becomes irrelevant. In the beginning, when they don't really know who you are, it's vitally important. As a general rule, go with some sort of money back guarantee. Different types of guarantees you could use. Satisfaction. If you're not satisfied with this product for any reason, no questions asked, I'll give you your money back. Standard. One is performance-based. If you don't ease your back pain or lose the weight in the next 60 days, and assuming that you do what I say, I will give you your money back. So there's something tied to them having to do what you tell them to do. Length of guarantee, we usually do 30 to 60 days. Honestly, the longer the better. It's if you do, I've seen people do 5 days and 10 days, and it's like you'll just force them because they won't have had 5 days to do the thing that they won't even open the email within 5 days. 30 to 60 days, and you could double guarantee it. For any of you who have been to Sales Bootcamp, my is a double guarantee. Money back plus something else for their inconvenience. Ticket price plus cost of airfare and one night's hotel is my guarantee when we do Sales Bootcamps. It's like, hey, come on in. You got nothing to lose. If you, after 1 day, don't like it, I'll give you your ticket price back and your airfare, assuming you didn't go business and you didn't come in from Australia, and I'll give you one night's hotel, assuming you're not staying in the Ritz, right? So that's the double guarantee. I offer the same guarantee with my virtual programs these days. I will refund the cost of your airfare and one night's hotel if you don't like the virtual event that you've attended. Let's see how many get the joke. If price strategies. Come on, it was funnier than that, Jason. It was funnier than that. Come on. Pay attention. If you offer a payment option, you can charge a higher price. Non-negotiable. Payment plans are needed. So if it's $500, you can pay up front with $500, or it's 3 payments of $200. So here's the magic. Write this down. I didn't put this on the slide. But when you price the product, listen to me when I tell you this. This is vital, 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 vital. What most people will do is they'll say the product is $500, or you can pay with 3 payments of $200. What you must do is this. It's so subtle, but it's fabulous. The price of the program is 3 payments of $200, or you can save $100 if you pay up front in one. See the difference? If you do it the first way, you're penalizing them. If you do it the second way, you're incentivizing them to pay up front. Magic. Somebody taught me that 5 years ago. It was genius. The price of the program is 3 payments of $997. So this is my accelerator pitch. The price of the program is 3 payments of $997, or you can make 1 payment of $2,850 and save $150. You always position the price of your program with the payment plan option first. Got it? Don't punish them. So here's another tip. When it comes to your price strategy, when you sell, be sure to compare apples to oranges. So what that means is you could say something like this. Hey, if you hired me for 5 sessions of Pilates to do this in person, it cost you $1,000. But you can get the help you want for just $499 or 2 payments of $250, whatever, right? You're comparing apples to oranges. What you often see many people do is they'll say something like, hey, that's less than the cost of a Starbucks every day. Or most people, what you're trying to do is create a place in their brain where they go, oh yeah, I see the value in this. I'm happy to spend this much money on Starbucks every day, but I'm not going to buy this. So all of a sudden your price doesn't seem so onerous. In fact, the price looks like a really good deal. Number 7, shipping and handling if you're selling physical things, which I would encourage you to do. I don't know if any of you took me up on what I said, ordering the Beachbody package, well, $50 or whatever it is. Beachbody's online, but you get a beautiful little package with a load of stuff inside of it. Like, people still love getting hold of physical things. You shouldn't underestimate that. Try to build this into your program where you can physically deliver them things. People get excited when the mail comes. So should you charge shipping and handling if you're selling them a physical thing that's included? You can have an online program with a physical version. I would say ideally yes. What's more, the price should cover the cost of the actual product. So like the physical buying of the product, if you like. So if it's $9 and your product costs $13, you want to charge $22 for shipping and handling. Oh, I'd love to see that, Emma. it looked amazing. The virtual event. Somebody sent me a Instagram of it. It looked amazing what they were doing. So when you see, here's a little secret inside it. When you see the commercials on TV advertising the second bottle of pills or vitamins for free, if you just cover shipping, now you know what's happening. Seriously, that's what they're doing. The shipping and handle has been positioned at a price point to cover the cost of the thing and probably a buck or two. So it looks like tremendous value because you're getting the second one free, but you're actually covering their costs, and they're probably putting $1 on it. And you know, by the time it gets to TV, if they make $1 on every bottle, thousands. So let's dig into this. Copywriting mastery. This is the system. So this is the start of creating a program, remember. So here we go, right? So this is what I want you to do. Just take a blank piece of paper. Just grab a piece of paper. And this is how you do it. So you start to do this. Let's create a fact sheet, right? So we're going to write down everything that's included in your program. This is what I do. So these are just binary things that are included. It might have 6 lessons on video. It might be a binder. It might be 200 pages of exercises that they can follow along from in their hand. They might get a bonus CD, DVD, a call with you, a free pass to the office, whatever, right? Just write it out. It's called the fact sheet. That's what they get. Then you're going to create the benefit sheet. The benefit sheet. It's another piece of paper. So grab. You're going to need about 4 pieces of paper. One's the fact sheet. One's the benefit sheet. So take the facts that you've just written down and translate these into benefits. For example, you have the program inside a membership site, but it's also transcribed or pictures put on paper into a binder if it's exercises. So the benefit to the people buying is that people learn in different ways. Hey, I'm going to give you the binder, access to the membership site, the video, and the transcript. The benefit to that for you as the customer is that there's no excuses. Even if there's no internet connection, you can't access your apps or your phones or whatever, you like to read or you like to listen, I'm giving you those things as well. It means the client can access the videos pretty much or the program wherever they are, right? So next, you're going to do, plus the transcription. So here's another example. The transcription will help you quickly pick out important things. So if you've got videos, get them transcribed so that they can read. People learn in different ways. What you've done there is taken facts and turned them into benefits. This is the secret to writing great copy, which is why I said you don't create the program first. Because if you create the program first, you'll sell the facts. And what we have to do is come up and conjure the benefits of the facts. So the benefit is what your end user gets. It's the result that they get from using. So, for example, hey, buy this car. Great, brand new. It's got wonderful airbags. Feature. It's really safe. Benefit. Surviving and living to see your family. Emotional benefit. When you're writing copy, it's all at the emotional benefit level. It's not even at the safety level. It's about surviving and living to see the family. That's the benefit of airbags. So here's how to get to that point. What are they going to get? What are the results? What are the emotional benefits that they're going to get from you? And why are they really buying it? Do people buy or invest in weight loss programs to lose weight? Or to feel better about themselves? Or to increase their chances on Tinder, perhaps? Is it to relieve pressure in their joints? Is it to be able to be more active with their grandkids or kids? There's always a real reason why somebody buys something. And it's never the thing that they tell you. That's the magic. Then you're going to create the offer sheet. This is exactly what they get when they buy the program. include the guarantee. So you get a guarantee, you get a payment plan, you get the bonuses, you get the deadline to buy. So you're starting to put all of this down on paper before we go any further. And then, this is important, create the objection sheet. So now you've got 4 sheets of paper. Staple them together, and this is the beginning of your class. Create the objection sheet. Write down any and all objections the person might have about buying your program. Why won't they buy it? What objections are they going to have? It's important that in the sales copy that we're about to write, that you cover their objections. For example, sure, you might think you can get this for free or cheaper elsewhere, but how do you know that what you're getting is from someone who is credible? Of course, there are YouTube videos on Pilates. Insert your thing. But how do you know the exercises aren't going to make back or neck pain worse? Our program comes complete with an online screening tool to make sure the routine you're doing is perfect for you. Right? Some version of that answers their objections. Headlines. Single most important part of anything you do. When you're reading a blog and you see all those clickbait, things that are embedded in all of the blogs that you read, the political stuff, it's like there is somebody paid in them places to write headlines. It's the split testing headlines all day long. You read a newspaper because of the headlines, you watch the TV or continue to watch the TV because of headlines. Forces the prospect to read the ad or ignore it. It's got to grab their attention. Easily changing the headlines, the thing I obsess over when I write, can increase the response by up to 30%. So here's some rules: big and bold, bigger and bolder, the better. Weight loss secrets so powerful, the founder of Weight Watchers tried to ban them. Hey, big and bold. Do not use all caps for headlines. Makes it too hard to read. Quotation marks around your headlines. Write the headlines in a National Enquirer style. Google it. Have a look on the National Enquirer's website. Actually, a lot of copywriters go to there to get their headlines, and it's the rhythm that you're copying, the dance. Find out how this one man did, how this did. So use that as a little bit of a guide for you. And above all, just don't try to be clever. So we've given you this. Amy, I don't know if you want to drop that into the group. If not, it'll be in your email, and it'll definitely be in the membership site. To fill in the blank headline template that will be included in your members area. So basically, I've written out a load of templated headlines for you, and you can just fill in the blank. Oh, Nikki, I'm a shoe-in to get to. There's no doubt whatsoever. I definitely walk the tightrope. Sophie has a heart attack every single day. There isn't a day goes by. So, are you sure you want to say that? Yeah. Inside the Facebook group as well. Amy, thank you. Amazing. What I've also done is created a fill in the blank bullet template as well. So it's, again, all of the things that you could say on your sales page that we're about to go through. So I've given you them 2 resources, and you literally just fill in the blanks, your version of the problem. I've created the rhythm and the structure of the bullets for you in the headlines, and you just drop in your it's easier than teaching you how to do it. It just would be total brain damage trying to teach how to write bullets. So there's 20 odd there that you can fill in. So I'm now going to walk you through this. We're going to get to the actual sales page. That's some of the bigger concept type stuff that you need. I'm going to walk you through step by step for writing the actual page. So here we go. Copywriting plus great relationship with the list is lots of sales, right? Amy, can we put this one in as well, please? The sales page template. This is the one we're going to walk through now. I'm going to talk you through step by step this thing. I'll just give everybody a chance to download it and get it. Sales page template. Wonderful. Thanks, Amy. Right. Everybody got it? Type into the chat. Sales page template. Everybody see that? Yep. Everybody good. So we're really just going to walk through this now for the next 20, 25 minutes. We're going to walk through the page. So this is a template, right? And again, just plug in, put your attention, whoever your target audience is, stop putting up with whatever, right? You just put your details in there. Discover how you can quickly and easily get whatever, guaranteed to help you live a more active and healthy life without needing pills. And on it goes. It is the perfect start for a sales page for you to get going. So let's go through it. The first thing at the top is a big headline. Then underneath is a sub headline, which is basically your best headline goes at the top and your second goes next. That's it. Your salutation. If you don't know the prospect's name, if it's on the internet, for argument's sake, just use dear friend, dear health freak, dear fitness fanatic, dear America's next most flexible person, right? Whatever. Give them some kind of salutation. Then there's the opening. This is the oldest opening in the book. The classic copyright is still used to this day, 50 years on, for a reason. If you want to, and X, this will be the most important letter you will read all year. So here's how it might look. If you want to lose weight, look great, and do it by eating chocolate cookies all day long, then this is the most important letter you will read all year. Here's why. Your credentials come next. Tell them who you are and why they should listen to you. Very, very important in the online sales business. Next, tell them a story, and it could be your own personal story using your own product or program. But there must be some story of a transformation about you or somebody at this point. Features and benefits will come next. After the story, list out all of your bullet points. Again, put that into the membership site for you. You can just copy and paste that. It's the transition between telling your story and the bullets. Bullets, really, the bullet points that you see, you know, often on my sales pages, you'll see little ticks or stars, or Fleming does light bulbs and all sorts of stuff, right? That's the thing. That's usually the thing that causes somebody to buy. The bullets are the thing that people inspect. And what the bullets are is just a collection of headlines. So if you wrote 12 headlines, you use your top 2 at the top, and then the rest all go in the bullets. Your bullets, by the way, can also be subject lines for emails. So that bullet template sheet that I've given you could be 30 email subject lines, or however many templates, headlines there are there. So it's the transition. When you order this course, here's what's included in the package. Then list all of your bullet points. You're basically saying, here's what you're going to get. Here's what you're going to discover. Next step, tell them to buy. People are literal. So there are 3 ways to enroll in the program or the class. Order online by clicking the yellow button below. You can call this number now, 555, whatever, or you can email us and we'll call you right back. I can only guarantee that you will get the bonuses you see advertised if you order by such and such a date. So you're telling them to move fast. The PS section, I have no idea how a PS section became so popular in sales, but it appears that it's very effective. In fact, some people who are conditioned to read these types of things actually just go straight to the PSs. You're basically just going to reiterate the original offer and the deadline. Hey, I understand that this class isn't for everybody. It's only for people who really value their health. It's for people who really want to live with less pain and more movement. If that isn't you, then maybe it's best not to enroll in the class. However, if that is you, you should get it. It could be the thing that turns your life or health around. So, quick tip, do it in a Word document to start with. Just write it out in a Word doc. Definitely print it out and read it over a few times. Then hand it over to your webmaster and have it designed. Keep it simple. Nothing fancy. Just keep it in a very, very simple format. Just copy some of my most simplest styles or templates, whatever you want. But honest to goodness, don't think it needs to look amazing. If anything, the simpler and the plainer, the better. And the more that you do it, the more you'll get a distinctive style. So me and Fleming have worked together for nearly 10 years. So we have a very distinctive style to the copy and the pages now, but that's took us years to get to that point. It really doesn't matter. This is for the website, Jason. So this is the page that they buy from. Like, this is it now. This is the one that is embedded with the buttons that they can press to go to the order form that will be on Infusionsoft or whichever you're going to buy. This is the money. Like, this is the magic. Does everybody get that? So the email contains a link to this page now. So this templated sales letter will be an internet page that you can click and you go to. Ultimately, that's what you're looking for. So again, you want to go back to this and read it, paulgoff.com/online-program, right? Go to that, I think it was, and you'll see much of it in it. But that's the sales page. That's what it's called, right? Yes. So Brian, there's often conversation about video. I nearly always put now a video that just talks and explains the sales page. So I write the sales page first, and then I do the video. So I try to speak the major benefits of the sales page on the video, and then we embed the video at the top, and then the copies below it. Yes, but here's the caveat: if you're not comfortable and that looks awkward and it doesn't flow, don't do the video till you are. Practice, practice, practice. Keep doing it until you become comfortable doing them videos. Because if you're not, the video can derail somebody faster than the sales page can, because they've got a visual now. So I would embed, the video at the top, and then the copy. The writing is much easier than doing a good video. Doing a good video, wow. If you see an infomercial, on the TV, oh my word, the time that's gone into that, and the money, the constant retakes and so on that's gone into that script. Like a copyright, someone like Dan Kennedy's being paid hundreds to do that, to write that script for half an hour. Hundreds of thousands to write that. And they've hired a TV studio for 2 days and done 67 edits of that infomercial. TV and video is very hard to do. So be careful if you're putting a video up there that you're confident and that you're staring at the camera and you understand what you're selling and so on. So exactly, Lisa, yeah, she's dead right. They run them from years because they get them right. But when they get them right, like they work. They'll work. Some of them work for 10 years, 15 years without having to change them. And that's what you've got to be careful of. The video can derail somebody if you say the wrong thing. So it's got to be congruent with what's on the sales page. So that's what you're looking at. Does everybody understand that? I just want to make sure that this is a sales page. The sales page is the thing that's got the link. So it's brettpeterson.com/back pain, right? That's your class. That's the link that they're going to go to. That will be in the email that ultimately is the thing. So we're going to launch the product, but we need the sales page, and that's where they check out. So you'll see your Enroll Now button will be on that page. That's the thing that you link to your order form. If you've got Infusionsoft, we can help you with creating that order form. And then when that order form gets filled out, that gets connected to your membership site and they've into the program. And that's ultimately the mechanics. So the email goes out. Call to action is to click this link with this information on it, with the price, with the yellow, orange, green buttons, whatever. Enroll here now. They click that. It's onto an order form. The order form's got the price of $500 or 3 payments of $200, whatever. They'll enter their credit card details. Bang. That talks to Infusionsoft, which then releases the program, gives them the email that says, here, access to the membership site, and boom, they're in. That's the mechanics of it all. We'll talk about that a little next week. But really what you've just created is the asset. When I tell you that this is the most important, I can't stress it, that plus the relationship, obviously the two go hand in hand, but I can tell you it's this important. You've all watched me launch Accelerator program. Some of you probably, Carrie, you've probably seen me launch Accelerator, 12 times? Doesn't do too bad for me. I wrote that page 5 years ago. Never touched it since. Never touched it since. It is a #1 album. It is the ultimate Christmas #1. That's what you're about to create. It's the sales page that sells Accelerator. Accelerator is not the asset. The asset's the sales page. This thing that you're creating tonight, today, this morning, wherever you are in the world, is the album. It's the hit record. Without this, they don't get the membership site. This is the missing link. If any of you have put programs together and you weren't able to sell, to this point now is the missing link. It's the sales page. It's a relationship with the individual, the lead through your system. This is now the bit in the middle that if you get this bit right, it's the gateway to the program. Everybody makes sense? Makes sense of that so far? Yeah. It's called the sales page in this world. Sales page releases the membership site. The lead magnet is your free report. The email follow-up system, that's Infusionsoft. This is the sales page. Ultimately, in the end, all eyeballs we want on the sales page. Emotional copy, benefit, just rip that 5-page template, put your details in, start there. And then as you do it more, as you start reading more people's sales copy, when you start with that sales template, what will happen is you'll be able to start understanding why I do what I do, why Dan Kennedy writes the way he writes, why other people do what they do. And it will all come back to that formulaic page I've just given you. And what that means is it's just a rhythm and a dance. You just put names put pain points into there. So Futon is the thank you page for Hyperbuy is the same as sales page. Correct. Yep. So again, my thanks page, what it'll say is, hey, well done for getting your free report. I have some important information below. It's got 2 arrows that take them to this sales page. Now here's where this will become about language. The thank you page is still a sales page. And it's the same page, but it's not the same page. It's the same page on a different URL with a slightly different top. Does that make sense? So Fleming will have, for example, I'll try and explain this. paulgough.com/online, right, is the main program page you see. But what you will not see, but you'll start to all notice now, it'll say online-thanks. So it's a separate page with a slightly different beginning that says, thank you, please check your email, now check this below. And he just basically copies and pastes everything from the first page onto the new page. So we almost have 2 identical pages, except one is a thanks page. So it's a sales page on a thanks page, essentially. Accelerate didn't still accelerate, correct, the sales page. This kind of template format is what sold Accelerator. How do you control how much leads see on your site? It might be daunting for someone new to your world to see all your programs, not knowing where to go. You just have the internet. Nobody goes to my website, Chris. I find them. They don't find me. Nobody wakes up searching for Paul Gough. That's the reality of it. They're in a vacuum. They see one page when they go through an email system. Occasionally, they'll go around and look at paulgough.com after they've opted in or after the. But honestly, Chris, don't overthink it. This is the multiple website business, as in we have a, Amy, what do we call it? Assets or global assets. We have a global asset spreadsheet inside an Excel with all the links to all of our main sales pages. It's stunning how big it is because there's so many individual sales pages out there right now with BGS, Sales Bootcamp, any version of any program I've ever done. Sometimes at different prices with different bonuses for different times of the year, different funnels. We could have 5 versions of an Accelerator sales page with different bonuses and prices on it. True. If you read the book, you're going to a different page. If you've come in off a live webinar, it's a different page. If you've got a direct mail piece from me, it's a different sales page. Now, look, this is a complicated version of it in my life now, but that's what you'll end up with is multiple landing pages that sell your programs and the relationships built through the email. The website almost becomes redundant once they've been there once. People go back to paulgough.com because it's got the podcast and the YouTube videos on it. That's about it, really. Chris, does that answer your question? They're upselling and ascending through the program. So in the membership site, we'll embed something that says, now you've finished the program, book a call to find out what's next or do this next. Nearly every one of my programs has a link to join Mastermind or upsell to something or whatever. You do that inside the membership site or at the end of the final video. But you've pre-built that path for them to go down. All right. So recap. The relationship is more important than the program. You're not selling programs. There you go, Mark. You're building a relationship that leads to program sales. Use email and social media to build that relationship. Copywriting is an art that needs to be worked at. It's also formulaic. Don't deviate from a system that works. I've just given you basically the template I started with 5 years ago. You'll get better, and I hope you study it and you'll start watching my emails and sales pages like a hawk now for pretty much everything that you probably now understand what's happening. And you'll do that with other people, and you should become a critique of any emails you get, click through to their sales pages, become a student of the game. Sean Buck taught me this. So he would print out Dan Kennedy's sales pages and check this, write them by hand. So he used to write them all out. Like whatever, he used to have Dan's thing on the screen, print them out, boom, 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 and he'd write out Dan's words. And he realized that there was a rhythm and a dance and a cadence to his sales pages. And he was able to get that style and that rhythm of a copywriter into his writing. I didn't do it, but it would have been a good. I do read a lot of emails from marketers. I sign up for lists, everyone, to see who is selling me what, so I can read their sales pages. Be careful of copying the big names like Grant Cardone and so on. Their sales pages are dreadful, really dreadful, but they've got mass volume. So don't copy Gary Vee and people like that. You're not in that we're not in that business. What else have we got? So you remember, your course always starts with writing out what they will get and what the benefits are. That's where the program starts. Homework: create your first sales letter. Come up with the price, the offer, the bonuses, and the name for the product, and then write out the sales letter. Have it written up by next week's session, when we'll look at actually creating it, as in just the physical concept of it and where your idea might come from if you're still struggling, and then ultimately launching it. And remember, if you are wanting to do something with us, fill that out. PaulGough.com/mini-mastermind. Fill it out. Talk to Barry. Just tell us what and where you are in your journey, if you like, and then we'll fix something up. We'll put something together and talk to you from there. It will be loosely some version of 3 months together, 10 weeks, 12 weeks up until Christmas, and we'll just continue the building of your online business, if you like. It'll definitely for people who want to probably do a little bit more than just our program, but we can go a lot deeper into all of these concepts after, if needs be. Can you back up one slide? Absolutely, Mark. Basically, take that template and turn it into a Word document that's appropriate to you, that will sell your product or program. Yeah. We'll do it. It'll be probably for 10 or 12. That's really what the idea would be, 10 or 12 if you're really serious. For some of you, it's just great. You've got your idea now. You can go off and get going with it. And then, we'll circle back with you in 6 months or so and look at what you need at that point. But I know for everybody, you've got the path, the runway now. Don't deviate from any of these things. And it might be for some, get the leads, just get people going through, try to launch, hit a few roadblocks, and then in 6 months we'll have a look at where you're stuck or what you need, what lessons you've learned, which that's going to happen. Some of you are well past it and you think, yeah, I need the next thing. I want more in depth. I want the processes, and I want to know how to do live webinars, and I want to know how to sell from PowerPoints and all this crap and continuity and various other things. We'll look at all of that if we get together in a little mini mastermind after that. And that's really what we're thinking of. What we can do is get the team involved and give you the processes and various things that you'll need specific to what you want, give you some time with the team, help you, take you behind the scenes of the business, and so on and so forth. And kick your ass and hold you accountable, Nikki. Always helps. Mark, does that help? Got it? All right. Fill that out if you want to talk to us. Go from there. All right, let's do some Q&A. If you've never done the program before, do you pretend to have and write some testimonials? Yes. I think, did I not put that on in the testimonials? You basically you would give it to friends and family. just give it to friends and family and get them to testimonial it. Give it to 2 patients and let them become the initial guinea pig, if you like, for testimonials. But I would always have some testimonials over none. Yeah. All right. Where am I at? Am I back? Lisa, I was just looking at you there thinking, it looks dark in England. And I'm going, I'm actually in fucking England as well. Honestly, I was looking at you going, it's dark there in England already. I'm like a mile away from you right now. 8:30, it's getting late. It's getting dark early, isn't it? It's getting dark early in Britain. I haven't said that. Like, you don't realize you appreciate how much light we get here. Like, Florida wouldn't get past 8:30 even at the height of summer. Would be black, pitch black by 8:30 in Florida, even in June, July. Chris, let's go. How can I help? It's just sunny all day, Nikki. That's the difference. You kind of want it to go dark because you're sick of the sun.
Hey, Paul. Just a quick question. So I remember you've talked about all your companies and how you have them in a holding company.
Yeah.
And you've created them. And what I'm trying to do, and I talked to Simon about this, I'm trying to forecast and create a 2 to 3 year plan out for this online business.
Yeah.
And creating staff and a separate business. So at the start of it, I'm just trying to figure out how to be smart with risk mitigation.
Yeah.
And creating another corporation. So I just wanted to know if you had any feedback or any advice or tips starting it in terms of, like, if you know this is Paul Gough Media for this business, right? So why you named it that way, and then what were you thinking for future businesses? How do you create the structure that you have the physio, you have the real estate, and you have this one? What tips or feedback from a corporation structure? And then also naming, if you know that you're going to get into a different realm. Any tips or advice on how to do that?
Yeah. So good. My first tip would be definitely to separate this. If this is a definite 50, 100 grand a year side gig, if you like, if not more, 100% second company. 10, 15 grand, okay, like it can kind of stay inside the PT. But if this is a genuine, you're going to bang down as much as 100, if not more. And this is something that could be, for example, you want to sell your physio clinic, but you want to retain the media business. That's where the separation is absolutely vital, which was why I said it, I think, on module 1, you'll need separate CRM, separate Infusionsoft, because you want to be able to go, there you go, you've bought my clinic, or you're a shareholder in my clinic, whatever. That's this part of the business. This is my baby. Like, this is my thing over here. With regards to names, honestly, I wouldn't, and I didn't read too much into it, other than that's what we were, a media business and are a media company, if you like, that has multiple facets. It's coaching, it's training, it's agency, it's seminars, it's events, it's publishing, it's books. We're a media, we are a media business, basically. And we're a personality-based media company, my personality, if you like. So I didn't want to get fancy with it or clever. It just is what it is. I am who I am. And the reason I grew the group structure is because I want to and plan to, and I'm in the middle of other companies, and I want to, in the end, this is just my personal journey, I want to be defined as a business. Like, I'm a business owner. It's like, I love coaching, I love training, I love seminars, I love events, I love writing books, I love authorship, but I want, and I see my future as the owner of a multiple group business, which will have property, health and fitness, as real estate, in potentially restaurants. I was talking to Lee, I'd love to buy a fucking radio station one day, like in the town. Like, you should spend an hour with me. Like, Lee's just like, oh fuck, put that on the board, right? But that's what I just love. Business. I have no other word for it. I just love business. I just love being in business. And I love the challenge. I love the idea of going and getting a restaurant and proving some fucking restaurateur wrong who whinges like shit about restaurants, right? Or a hotel or a shop or whatever, right? Like, so to me, the group structure became it was just inevitable. Property came along. That was the next logical step. The next logical step from property is a property rentals business of my own that we could then potentially rent out other people's properties and so on. And that's actually what's getting built right now. early next year, I'll start sharing you some more information on the property portfolio that I'm building that will lead to a property rental company. We're about to start advertising for an agency manager to run my property portfolio that will be, you'll be able to watch the journey. We'll start a new website, we'll start a new CRM, we'll start new social media and so on that will advertise for tenants and blah, blah, blah. So it'll be a really cool project you'll get to watch from next year. And JP, who was on last week, is helping me kind of with the infrastructure of all of that. So to me, the group structure became liability. The reason I created a holdings company was commercial protection, so that if anything went wrong in any of these trading businesses, you can't get nothing. It's all up there. Like, and there is a layer of, you'd have to go through hoops to get close to any cash that I've got, if you like. And the more that I was going to be building multiple businesses, it hit me one day that the biggest risk is the physio business. Is probably one of my physios, while I'm 3,500 miles away in Florida, one of my physios doing something and getting sued for it, and the bastard's coming after me. Even though I've got medical negligence, even though I've got bloody every version of every insurance I need, some smart ass lawyer will go, that's the guy we're going after. But if the money's in a separate company, they can't do that. The best they can do is go for the trading company, which don't keep any money. It barely makes any money the way we set the structure up. So all of the money is at a level that you can't touch. Now that might be a conversation you'll need to have with you know, particularly in fucking California, by the way. You might want to have that conversation with somebody. So that's why I did it. But I would definitely, I don't know about the group structure yet, because you might not need it. It also allowed me to move money between the two accounts without paying what's called VAT in Britain, which is an additional sales tax for moving money. So I can basically borrow money between my companies, move things around without incurring penalties or charges or me having to pay tax. So it was a no-brainer in the end. But it's commercial protection, and you definitely want, because this could be the scenario, right? Your online business will be very profitable, and you could be very cash rich inside of your physio business, where a significant sum of the cash comes from online. Something goes wrong in the sports side of it, physio side of it, all of a sudden they want a piece of all of this stuff. Like, that's the reason for doing it.
Yeah, that's my concern. That's why I was just asking how to frame that from the beginning.
I would do, if I was you, if knowing you, I would set up the second company, Chris Garcia Online or Chris Garcia, coaching, consultancy, whatever, right? But you might not need the group yet. And I think if you then evolve into investing in property or doing something, then it might be time to get a group. And it becomes about commercial protection for Chris and the family own the holdings company, and shit can happen in the trading businesses, but it's not going to bring the house down for Chris's family.
Thanks, Paul.
Good. I'm not going to leave.
Oh, I'm ready.
I'm engineering everything, and this is what I'm really loving. I'm just loving business, like right now. I always have, but I'm just loving it. There's no other word. And it's because I'm getting more and more clear on what I want, right? Which happens the more that you dive into this, that I do love this, right? It's like 8:45 here, and I love it. I mean, I would like to be at home with the kids and reading them a story and stuff, but like, look, I'm loving this teaching aspect. I love writing books. I love the coaching. I love the training. And what it's forced me to do is, because I know that I can't give this up, right? It's like Madonna can't stop singing, right? As much as you'd like to, you can't. Adele can't stop singing. She can't stop writing albums, right? That's what they do. But it doesn't mean that they can't build other things around them. And to me, it's become great. Build this business so successfully with Sophie and Simon and the team and the people that I'm freed up to do other things at the same time as doing this. So it's becoming a challenge for me to get better at business, to get better at running a team and better at running a company, and not just being an internet marketer. It's to build a solid company that I can learn lessons from personally, from growing it, learn lessons from working with you guys, that I can make my own companies better, which candidly I do constantly. And then around it, I can start to build the other businesses. But here's the bit strategically, because I know I haven't got the time to get involved in the property business, guess what I have to be world class at? People and structure and hiring. So it became immediately obvious to me that's what I have to get good at, better at, and better and better and better all the time. If I want the additional businesses that I want to be involved in, I don't want to fucking talk to tenants. Oh shit. I want to talk fucking websites and all that shit in them business. Not even close do I want to be involved in the social media, in the email marketing of any of it. Like none of it do I want to be involved in it. I want to be able to move it without touching it. And that's the philosophy I'm taking into as many things as I possibly can in business. This will be the only exception to the rule. I am the business. Like that's Adele's the singer. Like you're the media company. It's like you are the business. But it doesn't mean that you can't engineer all the pieces around you to support you to make sure that you only have to do the thing that you are uniquely qualified to do, which in my case, it's the marketing, it's the teaching, and it's the writing of the books. Anything else that I get involved in, waste of time. Absolutely. I can do one-on-ones, but not the best thing I can do. I can write processes, but not the best thing that I can do. I can do the cash flow forecasts, but not the best thing I can do. The best was recruiting somebody to do it for me and holding them accountable. That's what I've got to do. So it's forcing me to stay in those lanes and forcing me to understand this game of business and structure and people better. And I believe some of you will already be able to feel that in the teaching over the last 3, 6, 9 months. The deeper that I go into business, the better my content and my teaching is going to be because I've got more lessons to share. And as you come on a journey with me, it has to happen that I have to keep evolving and growing. And if I don't, the stories will become boring, the content will become stale, the lessons will be out of date, and you'll eclipse me. But I realize that is what I have to do. Luckily, I love it. Brett, go on.
Yeah, so this is kind of some order of operation stuff. So getting the lead magnet out is, well, first we do like just our content through, as you mentioned, the groups we go on, Facebook, etc. Then we get them to where they get the lead magnet, give us their contact info, and then we start the email sequencing. When do you, in those emails, when do you start positioning the sales page? Because like, as I've gone back over the courses a few times, it talks about like those first 2 to 3 emails or whatever, you're not even like, it's just telling your story and building your relationship. But like, what do you literally just leave it at that and don't have any sort of action for them to take?
No.
Or where do we send them?
Good. So what we're going to talk about next week is what's called a launch, right? So a launch is like, you see me do a live webinar. It's like, hey, come on, join me. I teach for 3 hours and go into all these concepts. It's like, hey, if you want more, like this thing opens for 5 days, right? That's what's called a launch, where you've got like a 5-day window, time sensitive, loads of bonuses, loads of offers, usually the best price. Everybody gets together. We do this thing and it's great, right? Like that's the live launch that I'll teach you next week. But what's in between that's possible is that soft sell, where you're always offering it, but it might be at a higher price. Hint, it might be at a higher price, and it might not have all the bonuses, and it might not have any bells and whistles attached to it. And what you're showing them all the time is that this thing exists, and the hyper buyers will buy it. So then when we come to the live launch and you go, hey, this was XYZ price, it's now ABC price, it increases the likelihood that somebody buys it in that window. You get it?
Yeah. So what about,
you're always offering it, right? So you could tell your story, and again, there's no right or wrong, right? And this is the way I would encourage you to do it. You tell all of your stories, and in the PS, I also have this. If you are in desperate need of this help, or you really want this thing, you want it, because 2 out of 10 do. It's called the express route. Hey, if you want this thing fast, boom, here it is. But it's like one line at the bottom of the email.
Yeah, gotcha.
And the hyper buyers will go for it. They do. Promise you they do. But the rest, you're not going to build an online business on hyper buyers. The business is built on that rhythmical acquisition of leads and the relationship built over a period of time. So they've got to know it exists quite early. Even in the first email, I could say, hey, I have a range of courses and programs that you can buy. Insert link. They're here. Whenever you're ready, go to this page. Boom, boom, boom. So you've conditioned them already that this thing exists as an option to buy.
Cool. And so then with the launching thing, I mean, if we're doing an evergreen program, do you still do like periodic launches of that? and like really
Yeah,
ramp
absolutely.
things up, or
Yeah. Because some people want to do it there and then. Some people don't know the evergreen exists. They didn't get the joke. Seriously, I've had people take Accelerate and they go, "I've been following you for 3 years. I didn't realize this program's." I'm like, "What planet do you live on?" Like, seriously? That's like, "Oh, I didn't check my emails for like 6 months." Like, see, that's the shit they come out with. It's like you're assuming that they have everything like understood as well as like they don't. They don't. For most, it's not ready right now. It's the live launch is designed to get people to buy who weren't going to buy because they kept procrastinating. So it's like, yeah, you could have bought this thing on Evergreen, but this is exciting now. Now we can do it with all these people. We're going to do this together. Come on, get your ass into. It's like that type of message marketing. Different reasons to buy. Some people buy just because somebody else fucking bought. Like that's it, right? It's bizarre. I sit and go through it with the team all the time. I'm like, these 5 bought because they were bored, and these 5 bought because they just like buying shit, and these 5 bought like because they like the podcast, and like seriously, I'd love to tell you that it's because they all want to make loads of money and like do shit with Facebook. At the surface, it is. But the primary driver, some people are just like, this is cool. What is this? What have I bought? Like, that's usually what happens. What the fuck is this? I've just enrolled in this program. Can I just ask, what is it?
awesome.
I'm like, the marketing's working. And like, Sophie's going, will you stop selling stuff? People haven't got a clue what I'm like, Sophie, me and Sophie once had an argument. She said, will you start explaining to people what they're actually going to buy? I said, Sophie, if I start explaining to people what they're going to buy, you won't have a job. None of us will have jobs because nobody will buy anything. End of conversation. Rule number 1, never tell them what they're actually getting.
Got to write that one down for sure. That's awesome. So, and then
never forget it. You've got to start telling people. She's naive at the time. You've only been with us 6. You got to start telling people what they're actually getting. Like, Sophie, you have a lot to learn about this business of marketing and selling. You never tell them what they get till they open the box.
That's awesome. So then the other thing, and like, I don't want to I know all of us have our own little unique pieces to this, but we are launching like an every other month couples workshop, like in-person couples workshop, where people will come in. My wife does stuff with them. How, like, just with this whole, as you mentioned, that rhythmic acquisition of leads, and then going back to what you talked about,
that's the business, by the way, that's the business. It's, write this down, everybody. Slow rhythmical acquisition of new leads. That's your business. I use the word slow. Just slow, constant, rhythmical acquisition of new leads. It's not 500 leads coming in tomorrow. Slow, rhythmical acquisition of new leads every single day for the next 5 years. You'll have a beautiful business at the end of that.
And so with that, what I'm having a hard time with, you talked about what you can get done anytime won't get done anytime, or what, I can't remember how you said that, but if you don't build
it'll make its way to you, Tar, eventually. That phrase, don't worry.
I'm a little slow in my intake, but we'll get there. So
are you ready? What can get done anytime usually gets done no time.
Yeah, I wrote it down.
I can go to the gym anytime. Usually gets done no time. Not in my case, I go most days, but you get the point, right? Those types of things. Anything that doesn't have a deadline or a time, why do people not miss their flights most of the time, right? Because you have to be there by like 7:01. Like, so we make our way there. There's a time deadline. It's the key to getting stuff done in your life. So go on. How does that apply? Where you having a hard time with?
Yeah. So if we're doing,
you're using very strong language tonight, Brett. I don't like it. Hard time. Me and you don't have a hard time. We just need to understand something a little bit better. That's
Yeah,
it.
okay. I'm not having a hard time. I need some deeper understanding from
Go and
you,
fight a
Paul.
war. That's a hard time.
Yeah.
We're not having a hard time.
So with this, every other month, what we've got planned is doing one of these workshops. It's a paid workshop every other month or so. But if we've got that, then I understand that there will be people like, oh, if I can't make this one, I'll just go to the next one, then to the next one, then to the next one. And I'm trying to acquire our leads for these. I mean, it's a local thing, so bring people in.
Well, don't tell them when the next one is.
Okay.
Just a thought. I can't
Yeah,
book it if
so
I don't know when
then,
it
like,
is.
let's say that we do, well, I guess my thing with this is we do a launch of one, people get their, they become a lead.
Yep.
We put out, okay, this one, they go to the sales page, and for this one, let's say I acquire that lead August 1st of this month. We're doing one the end of September. I start that person into our email sequence. They don't do the September, our workshop in September. Do I just roll them over into a new sequence, and then
You
every
just
other
keep going.
month?
You might even put on the sales page, P.S. If this date doesn't work for you, please get in touch. We might have some other options.
Okay, gotcha. Because like I know you're like something like Accelerator. I know you do it once. Even at some point, I know you were doing it twice a year. But I mean there's a
coming
lot
soon
of,
for those of you who haven't bought Accelerator.
it's a good
coming
course.
soon. For those of you who are on my list, I will hunt you down. You will be on that course. If you haven't done it, you might as well roll over right now. Sign them up. Send an email to Caitlin. Sorry, go on, Brett.
No, you're good. I love it. Always selling. So
I'm not selling,
just
Brett. I offer. I give people
always offering
opportunities.
something for us to spend money on. So, me and Nikki were actually having a little private conversation about how we probably both could have had a second home by now, but instead you've got like 3 of them. So on our dime. So still,
I have a very expensive partner I need to keep up with. That's the problem.
So
just me, I could have stopped by now.
With this, you're not necessarily saying I need to change up the system at all from what you've taught already. No. Just keep it rolling the same way.
Here's what I'm going to say. You're going so big now, like you're into another level of like complexity in the business, if you like, that it can be evergreen, right? And it can still be, and this is the genius of the marketing, it can still be made to feel time sensitive. Scarcity is still involved. It's for 12 people. And if you don't book this time, there's absolutely no guarantee that we will put it on in 2 months.
Gotcha.
But register for the wait list if and when another spot comes out, right? Because that's the truth. There might not be another one. You might say we're not doing one for 6 months, right? We sometimes sit and go, no, I'm not doing BGS till whenever, and we thought we were going to. Like, that's the truth. So you will find a way of positioning it that usually is as simple as that. Hey, the next class is in 2 months, and if you'd like to get on the 12, sit one of the 12 seats for this time around, the current price is $595. It may go up for the future one, so please enroll today.
Perfect. Awesome.
Well done.
That's what I needed. Thanks, Paul.
Good. Well done.
Hey, Paul, I have a question.
Jason, what's going on?
Not much. So the list building, I'm doing that. I want to accelerate it and make it go by faster, and I'm willing to pay for it.
Yep.
However, in terms of buying Facebook ads and promoting stuff, I only know how to do it for my clinic, which is in a small geographical area. So when you're looking at going out of a geographical area, do you go statewide, nationwide? Does it make a difference? Or
I would start with, how many customers have you got online right now?
How many, like, on my list?
Yeah.
I've got 1,300
customers. How many people have actually bought?
1,300.
So you got 1,300 customers. All in the US?
That's over several years. This is from an old
That's okay.
old project.
All in the US?
Yes.
we would find the top state. I would go for the top state where all those customers are, top 2 or 3 states, and run your ads there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's what I would do. I would find a commonality in the list of the age of the person, the male or the female, and I'd go for the state that the majority of people bought in. Maybe California, New Jersey, New York, Texas, wherever. It kind of makes sense to start in Texas because
Right.
it still offers, to me, my brain would be screaming, if I could build up, look, how big do we want it, right? Texas is like big enough, isn't it? You know, if we can't make a living out of Texas, we might be struggling. But I would possibly start with either Texas, because that would allow you to do some version of in-person seminar type, come in, drive in for the
Right.
weekend and do a retreat, you know, with the kids as well. That's where my brain, not that the people wouldn't fly in from California or, you know, neighboring states or wherever.
Right.
It just kind of makes sense to go, hey, I'm a Texas boy. I'm in Texas. I've helped, you know, parents. And it just allows us the marketing message to be very precise. You know, if you're in Texas and you've got a child with this impairment or this issue, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know, my name's Jason Miller. I have a clinic in Texas that helps people all over the world, but you've got an immediate affinity. So I think I'd run 2 ads. I'd go one for where your most customers are of those 1,300, which there will be a state. And I think
Right.
when you run it, you can run it on Infusionsoft, where you can find by state. So if you did it for us, we know ours, and we've got a top 6 or 7, and you can find it by state. And then split test ad number 2 would be local boy, Texas, definitely. That's what I would do.
Is it the same? Because I have a lot of people who bought from South Africa. I really have no idea how I got known in parts of South Africa, but is it the same? I mean, does it make any difference going out of country at all?
Nope. Absolutely not at all. There's obviously a starving kind of need, if you like, that there isn't anybody in South Africa. That's what it's telling you, that they're having to leave South Africa to find somebody like you. You'd run your ads where your customers are. Where's your best customers bought from?
Right.
So if it's South Africa, you might be brave. The advertising will be cheaper. It's whether they'll pay the US prices. That's the other, you know, that's the thing you got to factor in. How
Right.
difficult it might be to get somebody last time I was in South Africa, it was like 18, I can't even remember what it was. Is it rand perhaps to the pound? So it was like, it wasn't great, you know. So that's what you're probably battling against in South Africa.
Right. Okay.
But that would be strategy. So the answer is I don't know, but that's where I'd start. I'd look at the customers, find out where they are, run some ads, definitely go with the local angle on the Texas one, and go from there.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Good. How do we start if we do not have a non-local audience? Same, Brett. Where's your original customers? Where would your best customer live? What states do you want to target? Are you talking about people flying in from out of state or out of town?
I mean, I'm just talking in general. Right now, we've got a very nice database for local people, like here in our town, but we don't have any sort of global reach. Like, how do we start that global reach?
I've just explained, like, same, you'd go state by state, you'd get killed if you try to go international. You'd go female or male, 50 to 55 in a certain state with a certain demographic, 20,000 people. You couldn't go statewide because your ads would just get killed.
So, like, you just spin the wheel and say, I'm gonna start in Iowa, or like,
you start somewhere that makes sense. Like my strategy there with Jason was Texas. Let's start in Texas, homeboy. Right? Let's just run them in Utah, assuming they've got, you know, access to Facebook and phones and stuff. If they have, let's run. Let's run the ads.
And then once
we
you
go
build
to California
that more,
where, you know, modern technology exists. I don't know.
So then once you build that, kind of build that audience, do you do more of like a lookalike and then go to a neighboring state, or and then from there you just keep branching out?
Paid will be, you're going to have some version of organic as well as paid. Otherwise paid will be expensive and you'll blow through it. You'll need reasonable cash to do it at scale online internationally.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Type into the chat, biggest takeaways from today's session. Everybody had a good time?
Oh, can I ask one more question?
Of course you can. Yeah, go for it.
Sorry. Like, in terms of pricing the program, is there any guideline to go on that.
The higher
I'm
the better.
trying to think of. I'm trying to honestly, kind of what I'm getting to is I'm trying to find ways to make it more expensive, and and
I like this.
I besides just adding, I'm not sure what to add to it to make it more expensive.
I mean, ultimately, the marketing and the positioning and the uniqueness of what you offer, and the as seen on TV, and the author of the book, and the podcast,
Okay.
and the specific razor sharp pinpoint accuracy of the pain point that the mother or the father have got, in the end,
Gotcha.
is what drives the price up.
All marketing, not so much the product.
They don't know what the product is. Nobody
Right.
does till they're
Gotcha.
bought. It's how specific is this to my pain point. Tactically, it's payment plans, bonuses, time limited, sensitive offers, that type of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Good. Right, type into the chat. Let me know your big takeaways. I've got a night on the couch on my own to go and enjoy. At least 2 hours. At least 2 hours of peace tonight. Feet's up. I'll be asleep within 15 minutes as usual.
That's Mark.
Mark, go for it.
So my question is, when I started my practice, I kind of intentionally didn't create it around me as a person or my name. I
Yep.
didn't want my identity to be the business.
Yep.
So as I'm writing emails and communications, do you have any thoughts on that?
For the business
try
or for the online?
Both.
I would say this. I mean, if you have a real strong kind of reason why you don't want to, it's going to be very difficult for me to tell you. I'll say it like this: if you can write it from Mark, it's the best path, right? That's like non-negotiable. That if it comes from Paul or it comes from Mark, I have a relationship with Mark. I don't want a relationship with a corporate company. That's where emails don't get read, and it's very difficult to tell stories about your life and then sign it off as P.S. the Movement Clinic. It's like, or sincerely the Movement Clinic. It's like, what? I'm not going to resonate with that. So I'll tell you the best practice is to come from Mark in both sides of it. Still to this day, the physio emails come from Paul Gough, like me, and I haven't wrote one of those studs I haven't even seen the bloody Infusionsoft for 5 years. Never mind writing email inside that account. So it's still better coming from you is my answer. So it depends if you can get over that, that whatever the reason is. If you like that, you don't want it to be you. If it can't, something's better than nothing. Just expect that the effectiveness won't be as good. That's the only way I can explain it to you.
So I guess I could still send the emails out from my perspective, but I just didn't want the clinic to be, just me as the identity. So if someone's coming to me, then they don't want to see another therapist.
Yeah,
that was kind of my approach.
I think you'll get away with it in the physio clinic more than the online. The online will probably need it to be from you. Like, if I'm honest, you could get away with it from the corporate clinic, but when it comes to online, even more important that it's the relationship with you.
That makes sense. Great, thanks.
All right, pleasure. Good. Right, let's see what we got. We'll wrap it up. For someone without an existing list of online marketing, I would try and get going with social and organic type posting, forums and groups and so on. Is my answer to that. Cameron, best module yet for big picture clarity. Good, thanks, Michelle. There was a lot today. Time limited offers, write the 4 pages, never let the truth poetic. Let's just call it poetic license, please, Brett. Let's stick to the real thing that it actually is. What cold paid traffic, spend high for a product? You'll need to spend $1,000 minimum on it if you're like trying to get some traction at scale on the internet. So 20, whatever that is, $30, $40 a day. Focus on relationship building with your own story. Get personal. Kim, love that. Kim, you'll have great stories, great stories with your journey and business and success over there. What gets done anytime gets done no time. Build a relationship. Make the relationship so good that they want to buy is irrelevant. Correct. 4 pages to write for the copywriting success. Sell results. Share your story and or struggles. Love it, Olga. Listen to your clients. Always let them know the price will go up. Slow, rhythmical acquisition of new leads. That's the game that you're in. That's your online business. Slow, rhythmical acquisition of new leads, and then it's the relationship and ultimately the sales letter. The program, I mean, it's in the eye of the beholder. What happens next? So we'll discuss all of that next week. We'll discuss creating the product and ultimately launching the product. So we'll have a good session next week, same time, I believe, next Wednesday. All right, thanks everybody. Reach out to Barry. Make sure you fill out the form, the mini mastermind, polgov.com/mini-mastermind. If you want to have a chat, you can almost tell us what you want. That's probably the best way to do it. Speak to Barry and tell us what you think would be of benefit, and we'll put something together and start it in September, maybe when this is finished. So yeah, thank you. Hope you've enjoyed it, and hopefully you've learned something. I always try to enlighten you in many different ways that you can apply to your businesses, not just this business as well. So hopefully you've got that. Sales is mega on that sales page, super important, but that's a very good jumping off point for you to start your first sales page. Have that written up by next week. Post it in the group. We'll take a look at them. And if you're really going at it, you can get your sales page created with an order form, and we'll be ready to go the week after with selling your product. All right. Have a wonderful day, evening, and I'll see you all next week. Have fun. See you soon. Bye.